Welcome, DoorGrow property managers, to the DoorGrow Show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you're interested in growing in business and life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow property manager. DoorGrow property managers love the opportunities, daily variety, unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it. You think they're crazy for not, because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management business owners and their businesses. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. We're your hosts, property management growth experts, Jason and Sarah Hull, the owners of DoorGrow. Now let's get into the show. All right. So today's topic is going to be about
Get back.
Back
Back up.
I got to back up.
Back it up.
All right.
I want to sing back it up.
Okay. I don't know where this is going.
I was entertaining people while you were messing around with the voice. You're welcome.
We're going to chat. We're going to chat a little bit about marriage. So
let's talk about it.
We're going to chat a little bit about marriage. Those that have followed my journey over the years have probably seen that I've been divorced. I've gone through struggles in marriage. I've learned things the hard way. Some of y'all probably been married forever, like my parents. I have amazing parents, and they were a great example of just loving each other from the beginning forever. They've been married for, I don't know, like 50 years or something. Almost.
It's 49.
Yeah.
I think this year's going to be 47. And
so they're like
going to be 50.
I think they got married 2 years before they had me. So
they they celebrate it though, but they're still in Australia and they celebrate it.
Yeah. So they so my parents, they just love each other. But one of the things that I think it's been coming up a lot, I've been noticing a lot of clients as I go deeper with them and they kind of open up, especially the guys, like relationships are a struggle. It's a challenge. I think it's difficult. It can be difficult for entrepreneurs. I think it's difficult for the women entrepreneurs because in a lot of ways you have to kind of step into sort of a masculine frame to run a business. And that creates an interesting dynamic in a relationship. And this is in general. Some women out there, maybe you don't want a masculine guy. Maybe you don't want a guy that leads. Maybe you don't want a guy that initiates stuff. Maybe you don't want to be able to let your hair down after work and like have him kind of take the reins and like plan something and take you on a date. But I think a lot of women do. A lot of women appreciate that. Even the ones that are running businesses and showing up in a masculine sort of frame and being kind of dominant in leadership and displaying these things, they would like to have some leadership, somebody else take the lead. Is this accurate, do you think, or no?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's different.
You've run your own business. You've been kind of in that frame.
I'm a very masculine woman.
Yeah. In some ways, I think you've consistently, since we've been together,
I look very feminine. I do. It's deceiving.
Yeah. Yeah. I think since we've been together, you've consistently stepped more and more into your feminine. And I've stepped more and more into my masculine, I think has kind of been a trend. Would you say that's accurate?
It could be. I don't know. I think you've probably more recently been focused on that. I really cannot say, I've ever been focused on.
I don't think you've been focused on it. I just think
I'm just living life.
Yeah, you're just living life. And this is the thing.
I'm just going about shit, doing my thing.
She's not as conscious of it probably, because I think this is something that men, if you are the leader and leading, you should be conscious of this. And women, when men are kind of taking that leadership role, women respond to that. And it's natural. Like I've noticed it in Sarah. She's not even probably super aware of it, but there's behaviors and things that have kind of shifted. And so the way it'll show up for a woman in in a relationship like that, as a man stepping more into leadership and into his masculine role, she will generally over time feel calmer. There'll be probably less fights, probably less explosions, things like this. And the guy will be like letting go of some of the needy, whiny, pleasy, weak behavior that's kind of gross to women. Does this sound accurate?
That is gross.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. Yeah. I cannot speak for all women.
Yeah.
To me, it's gross.
Ironically, when women are showing up kind of more in a masculine frame, they sometimes they bring that out in guys. Like guys think, oh no, there's a problem. I got to please more. And so it creates this weird gross spiral in a relationship. And so, which I've experienced in past relationships. Right. And so the man needs to kind of shift and lead out of that. And, so I've been noticing this in clients. And so this is something that I've been paying a lot of attention to. A lot of guys show up in a feminine frame because we've been raised by our moms. We probably had maybe you had a loving mom. She took care of you. Maybe she didn't. And she wasn't really a great mom, maybe even. But either way, that feminine influence towards pleasing has a strong impact on the male psyche. And so, and which puts us into kind of growing up with kind of a feminine frame if we don't have a really strong sort of masculine, walled, stoic father, And there's a really great book I would recommend for men that want to kind of eliminate that feminine frame that they're carrying around. It's called Shattering the Feminine Frame by Jerr, Jerr. It's really hard to find, so you may have to search for it on Google, because if you search for it on Amazon, even though it's there, Amazon won't let you see it. I don't know why. It's super weird. You may not be able to find it. Sometimes searches, some of the books by Jerr don't show up when I search for him. His main book that he puts out there, I can find, and then I have to go to the author, click on the author name, and then find his other books to find some of these books. It's really weird, but you might be able to find it through Google.
Maybe it's just you. It could be just you. It'd be an interesting test.
Maybe everybody else, even though I bought multiple copies of the book and sent them to guys.
Jason gets blocked on everything. He gets himself blocked on everything.
A little controversial. I get shadow banned all the time.
It was something. He's like,
I was definitely shadow banned on Twitter.
My accounts aren't working. Your whole Instagram account.
I have a political account on Instagram that's totally blocked and shut down. Like I log into it, it won't let me. It blocks everything. I can't do anything. I can't even go to settings to like request help to support. Nothing. So yeah. Which probably means
might be why Jason can't find.
Which probably means my ideas are actually correct. So. Since we live in a world of control and censorship nowadays. All right. So that aside. So I think, to kill that needy sort of pleasy behavior, I think, guys, is really important. And it's important in business too, because in business, you don't want to be the needy, pleasy guy running a property management business, trying to please every tenant, trying to please every business owner. And that was something you were very good at not doing in your property management business.
I don't give a shit about that at all.
Yeah.
I think
you're like, what do I want my business to look like? How do I want to show things to show up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think part of it is very selfish. And I think as a business owner, there is part of you that has to be selfish, and you have to be comfortable with being selfish, because there is a time and a place for it. Now, I am not sitting here telling you be only selfish and only think about yourself all the time, no matter what, prioritize you and forget everything else, right? That is not what I'm saying. Sure. But there is a time and a place to be selfish and to really think about you. And if you think about it this way, there's a lot of people, like one of my very good friends in Pennsylvania, she will just give and give and give and give and give to everybody. She worries about her kids, and she worries about her friends, and she worries about her family, and she worries about, it's like she's like so giving, and I mean, she would literally give you the coat off of her back in the middle of winter if you needed it. I have watched her do it. And that is great. However, if you do not take care of yourself, you are not going to have energy to then continue to take care of other people.
Yeah.
And I tell her that all the time because she's just in this constant exhaustion. Like now it's manifesting physically.
Yeah.
Now she had health issues. She had like a heart problem. She had all kinds of issues. And it's because she's not prioritizing herself. She will go to do something for herself, but then something else pops up and needs her attention. And she's like, oh, well, I can't worry about me. Now I have to worry about this other thing. So there is a time and a place to be selfish, and you must take care of yourself first in order to then serve and take care of other people. It's like put on your own oxygen mask before helping other people.
Yeah.
Because if you die trying to help your family, well, now your family doesn't have you when you could have just put on your own oxygen mask first. Yes. So there is a time and a place to be selfish. I think in my later years, especially after my divorce, when I was 27, 28? Yeah, I was 28. So 28, I flipped my entire life upside down. All of it, everything. I pretty much scrapped it all. Anything that wasn't serving me, anything that was toxic, anything that wasn't good for me, anything that didn't make me feel happy or bring me joy or make me feel loved and cared for, I said, fuck it, it's gone. Gone. So I cut off relationships with my biological father. I ended my marriage. I cut off a lot of friendships. I quit my job. I did all kinds of things. I was like, yeah, this isn't working. Like, and that was the end of it. But that was very much that was for me. I did that for me. And up until that point, I wasn't really living for me. Yes, I was concerned about myself. I was always trying to take care of myself, but I was also always worried, oh, well, who needs this and who needs that? And, oh, this person is kind of, it's always like in the back of your brain. And after that, I made that change. And that after that point was when I started my business. When I started my business, I'm glad that I didn't do this before I had that shift in my life, because when I started my business, number one has to be me. If the business makes me miserable, then I'm doing something wrong. So why do it like that?
A lot of people are miserable in their businesses. We see a lot of them. That's why a lot of people come to us, so we can turn that around. Ironically, the more you are trying to please somebody, the less they value you. And so if you're like just bending over backwards trying to please tenants, they're going to treat you even more and more like garbage, because you're showcasing and demonstrating in your language, your behavior, everything. I'm low value. I'm a doormat. Walk all over me. In a lot of ways, you might do that with owners. You might be displaying, hey, I'm low value. I'm available whenever you need me. Your time is so much more important than my time. Interrupt me anytime. Here's my cell phone number, right? And so by displaying that you're low value, you actually end up being treated worse and being perceived as worse. And people respect business owners that are leaders and that are able to display strong behavior that they can lean into and that they can trust. You need to have a stronger frame or a more masculine frame if you are the leader of a business. Otherwise, people are not going to really trust, respect, or feel safe with you. And so I think that also when we're in relationship and we're with somebody, and I think that this is probably more true of women. And a lot of women might throw me some shade for saying this, but as guys, I don't know what the major difference is. Maybe it's testosterone levels, whatever. Maybe it's just in our DNA, but we do not grow up feeling fear. We don't generally feel afraid of a whole lot of things. Like most guys would never even think like, am I safe if I go walk out on the street? Unless they're in a really shitty area, But if I go out for a walk, I'm not concerned about my safety at all. I could roll down my windows and take a nap in my car, parked by the side of the road, and wouldn't even worry. Yeah. Women, I didn't realize this until later years, but women from
even going for a walk by myself. No way. I'm taking my pit bull.
Yes.
Or I'm carrying.
Right.
Or
you're strapped.
Some combination. Yeah. Something. There's no chance.
Yeah. I mean, even if I'm out of town, for example, you get a little bit more concerned about things and your safety and stuff like that. Right. And so
See, I'm the type of person, I'm like, I want like a fortress. I want like reinforced concrete, like 5-inch, like maybe even 11-inch thick, like walls. I want like a moat.
You want to live in a
I want
castle.
like some sharks that we don't feed like ever.
She wants to live in
And
a
then,
bunker underground.
somebody might accidentally fall down and then get eaten. Like this is how I'm like, that would make me feel safe. I want like bulletproof glass. Give me the Cybertruck glass just everywhere. Like this is what I need. I need like laser beams like you see in museums, like motion sensor laser beams that trigger like the SWAT team. That's what I need. So but I've watched way too many like horror movies. Yeah. Admittedly, way too many for my own good.
So regardless of your gender, masculine and feminine energy is always at play. And feminine energy generally is not going to feel safe without masculine energy nearby. That's just generally how it works. Masculine energy creates that protection and safety. This will be true of your clients. So you'll need to show up somewhat in a masculine frame so that your clients can feel safe with you. And that's what they want to buy. They don't want to buy property management. What they want to buy is safety and certainty. They want to buy peace of mind. And so that certainty that you can display is more of a masculine energy or masculine frame. This is true of women that are in relationships. If they're not getting that from the man that they're with or around them, that sort of masculine frame, they're going to become, a lot of times they become more nervous, more neurotic. They're more concerned about things and more fearful. And especially if they have to then step into the masculine frame to take care of the guy that they're with, because he's even more needy and pleasy and whatever and feminine than she is, then it's like, it creates this gross sort of I'm your mother type of dynamic, right? And you don't want to be my mother, right? You don't want to be cleaning up after me and telling me what to do all the time.
No, I don't want to be anybody's mom.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not cut out to be a mom. I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's no good.
So I think
like my mom is the best mom in the world.
Yeah.
And then like, how do I measure up to that? Like I can't compete with that.
Well, I don't think it's a competition.
Everything is a competition.
So
it's
nothing.
not really, you know nothing about me.
It's not really competition. You don't need to compete with your mom.
No.
But you can take, some of the good that you've got from her and the stuff that you don't want to apply or we learn from our parents we don't want to be like, we don't have to take that, right? So, I guess the takeaway from this episode maybe is men, check out that book, like step into a little bit more masculine role in your relationships. Your wife will be calmer. She'll be more loving. You will definitely get more respect and you'll get more sex if you're showing up in a masculine frame. And I think, and it's your responsibility. Stop trying to change her. Stop trying to get her to be something different. Stop wishing she was nicer to you. Stop being, trying to focus on, I need love and I need to please her and do things like that. Like show up in a confident leadership position, like plan stuff, plan dates. We're going on a date this weekend, right? We went on a date last weekend.
Round 2.
I messed up last weekend. I planned a date. I was so excited and we took her out to eat. We went to go to where the date was. We were supposed to go watch a show and it was closed. Like there was nothing there. Like and I was like, what? And I checked and I had the date wrong. So what did I do as a leader? I found another date. So I quickly booked tickets, found tickets to a comedy show that was right there downtown Austin. And then we went to that and we had a good time, right?
Well, that was when I rescued the bird.
Yes.
So here, let's talk about
this for a second. Life is.
Jump out of a moving car because my husband wouldn't stop the car.
Let me explain this.
So
wait, no, hold on. I'm driving into a parking lot. There is a bird that has landed on my hood and it's just staying on there. So I'm like, this is weird. Yeah, and I'm turning into a parking structure.
It's probably injured.
I was barely moving. I was slowed down or you would have hurt yourself. But I'm like, she's like, I'm going to get out and I'm going to take care of the bird. And because it had jumped off. And I was like, no,
it didn't. It tried to fly. Like it was on the hood and it tried to fly a little bit and it like barely cleared like the roof of the car. And I went, Jason, that bird is injured. I'm telling you, it's injured. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I stopped the car. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, stop the car. And
I was like, let me not stopping the car.
He's like, I'm not stopping.
There were like homeless people on the street, like right outside there.
Yeah,
it was like ghettos. They probably were all high on drugs. Like it was not a great area.
So when I went
and
to
she
the
jumps
bird,
out of the car, and I have to then find a parking space because there's nowhere to park. And I had to go up 7 floors into this parking structure. I'm like, my wife is probably going to be dead by now. Right. So I eventually get to the top floor. Then I come down. I'm like so anxious because I'm like, I need to protect this woman from her crazy bird saving,
and
like
then there's
whatever.
And actually, I had this dress on and my high heels, and I'm running around trying to like scoop up. I'm like, it's okay. Trying to scoop the bird, and the bird, like, it can't really fly. It flew a little bit for like a couple feet, and then it like sank back down. I'm like, oh no, it's injured. So I'm like chasing the bird, and the bird like hops around, like it comes out of the parking garage and it hops around to the corner. I don't know what's back there, so I'm just following. I'm like, come here, bird. And there's a man in the corner who I can only think, my guess is like coke. I don't know what he's doing. It's, I don't know, crack, whatever crack is, it's probably that. So I don't know. I'm not a drug expert. I've never been in narcotics. I don't know. But he's like in the corner and he's like doing, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like not look at what's happening because I don't, I'm just, hi, I'm just getting the bird. I'm like, don't, like, sorry, don't mind me. And yeah, he didn't really like that. But I did get the bird. And then I didn't know what to do with the bird. So I have the bird. Now I'm like, oh, what do I do now? So I was going to walk back to my husband and tell him to get in the car.
Yeah, where? 7 floors up? You had no idea where it was.
No, I didn't. I was just going to walk around until I found you. But I had the bird in my hands. And I was going to go back to my husband and then say, like, I guess we have to figure out what to do with this bird. We have a bird now. But this woman, she was on the street and she's like, oh, hi. She was like, excuse me, do you need help? And I said, I don't know. Do you know what to do with an injured bird? And she said, actually, yes, I do. And I said, oh my God, thank God, because I didn't know what I was going to do with this bird. And she said, oh, you have to take it to whatever on earth, she said. And she's like, I can do that because I guess she works there or something. So she's like, oh, I'll take it in tomorrow. She's like, if you give me the bird. So then we had this whole bird transfer.
She probably ate the bird. She's probably some homeless person that ate the bird.
She was not a homeless person.
Okay.
Dog. It was a couple. Okay. It was a couple. They had a dog.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm coming down an elevator. It lets me out on the first floor of this parking structure. Does not let me into the parking structure. There's no, like, it exits the building. So I exit the parking building and it locks me out of the building. So I can't even go back in. And I'm like trying to find her. I have no idea where she is. And so I'm calling her and
you did not call me.
Yeah, we ended up talking. Didn't we talk?
No, I called you.
Yeah, you called me.
Because so the lady takes the bird. And now I have no bird, which is great. And the bird is safe. And now I'm thinking, okay, I didn't realize it was as tall. I really did not know that the building was that tall. So I figured, oh, there's probably like 3 levels, whatever. I'll just walk around and find the car. It won't be hard. Well, I'm walking around and I'm realizing, oh, okay, well, this just keeps going.
Yeah. And you were wearing the worst shoes on the planet.
The worst shoes. I was wearing
okay, wait, let me explain this. They can't see your outfit right now.
The worst.
Sarah looks like sex on wheels. Like her outfit is hot. Like this is a hot dress. This is like, this is like a form-fitting short dress. I bought this for her. She looks really good in this. And she's sorry. And she's wearing these high heels. She's wearing these high heels like Louboutin.
They're Christian Louboutins.
Whatever they're called. And they're like, did I buy you those?
That pair, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I bought her these shoes, and they're wicked uncomfortable.
They're so uncomfortable.
Like whenever she wears them.
Christian Louboutin, I have to say something about him. He either hates women or he has no idea what women's feet are like.
I don't know, but he's laughing. Both. He's laughing all the way to the bank.
Right to the bank. I know.
So, because they're not cheap. So, she's wearing these shoes that she can't even walk around in. And there's no way she's gonna go up 7 floors of parking ramps.
I was on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to the 3rd floor and then I realized, oh, okay. So then I called you.
Yeah. And then she eventually finds me. You need to go back up to the car because I didn't grab your purse.
Because you left my purse in the car.
Because I should have been psychic and known that she needed me to grab her purse. Right, guys. And so we go back up, but she had to let me back into the building because I was locked out and their thing wouldn't work to let me back in with my my parking pass thing. So she comes down to the first floor, opens it up, lets me in. We get in the elevator. We go back up to the top floor. I'm like, what were you thinking? And she's like, what were you thinking? You didn't grab my purse. You left my purse. I'm like, you're way more important than the purse, woman. And you're like going around crazy homeless people and like trying to save a bird.
It was saved.
So
it was saved.
Okay, good job.
You did it.
Good job. You're like,
we've been saving lots of animals.
I think there's a Bible verse where Jesus says something, or God says something about like your life is worth more than many sparrows or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Some of you all know what the verse is.
I must have missed class that day.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we go up to the car, get this, come back down. We exit that same exit down on the first floor. And I'm looking around. I'm like, this is not a great area.
No, it was
like,
it was bad.
There's some rough characters and like they're walking around and like,
in fact, we went to the comedy club and one of the comedians, he said, so now I have a bully and he's a homeless man. And the same homeless man, he like hangs out right outside the comedy club. And he said, I'm here all the time. And now the homeless man is like harassing me every single time. And he's like, so now I have a bully who's a homeless man. He's like, what do I do about that?
Yeah, this is great. This is great. So,
yeah.
So I may be able to keep Sarah safe from her bird rescuing adventures in the future. We'll see.
Stop the car. When I tell you to stop, just stop the car.
You still would have gotten out. I didn't want you to get out. We could have come back.
Oh no. It could have died in the meantime. What if it went in the street? It tried to go in the street. I had to stop it.
All right. I would rather a little bird die than my wife. So,
well, okay. Yeah, but I feel like there's a third option.
Men, you know what I'm thinking right now. You know.
Oh, they're like, what is wrong with her?
No, they don't think what's wrong with it. They just go, that's what women do. Like, and yeah, and guys understand. So
see, we have to save things.
Okay. So, should we wrap this up? Anything else we should add? I didn't know we were going into this whole date, but I have a date planned for this weekend. It's the one that I thought had been the previous weekend. So I'm taking her out again. But men, plan some dates, show some leadership. Don't wait till she asks you to do things. Try and be proactive and find ways to do things before she asks you, right? And if she's asked you to do things multiple times, you probably are being a lazy bum. Comfort, ease, and that's feminine, right? Everybody loves to see a woman in comfort with her pillows and cushions laying out attractively. But guys, they love to see guys at work. Like, man, you do the work. If you are just sitting around watching football games all day and being a bum, then you are actually in your feminine as a guy. And men are men of action. Like, get some stuff done, do some things, be proactive, improve yourself. So that's all I'll say about that. All right. So yeah. And join our program and get a coach like me that's going to call you out on your BS and help you step into a more masculine frame.
We will
do
that.
Crush it more in business.
That's true.
And I guarantee that you will be getting more respect, more love, more sex, more all the good stuff if you show up. And if you show up and be the person you were meant to be. So I will challenge you to do that. I've worked with relationship coaches. I've got a marriage coach right now. I've got, we've had business coaches. Like, you need to be constantly improving yourself. So I will make sure that you're doing that if you join our program. All right. That's it for today, right? All right. Until next time, everybody, to our mutual growth. If you would like to be part of the adventure with DoorGrow, go to doorgrow.com, check us out, book a call with us. We'll find out if we can help you. And if you are wanting to be a little bit more connected to our free community, you can go to doorgrowclub.com and join our free Facebook group. And that's it. Bye, everyone.